Welcome to Accelerated Solutions Vlog. Today we're going to talk about whether you want to start a independent business or whether you want to be a franchise. So we've done both. We started our first business. That one kind of didn't do too well. We then rolled that into a better company that we did grow and actually sold. One of the things during our journey that we found is we were great with the people, the customers. We had a lot of the systems down in terms of the technique to actually perform the service. But one of the areas that we both struggled with was technology. That being the computers, the websites, the software. Now we could have outsourced that, but hey, being entrepreneurs, we wanted to do it all. So we kind of learned that process as we went. So when we sold that business and kind of moved back home to our home area, we then got into another business. Well, the first business we got into was a franchise. Now for us, we didn't have to worry about websites, technology, marketing, all those type of things. So one of the things I want to talk about is you need to understand what you want to do if you're truly an entrepreneur. If you are a franchise, you are not free. And when I say that is you are bound by a contract. They generally call it a franchise agreement or an FDD. You have to obey by the rules within that contract. So if you want to sell quickly, if you want to, decide to go crazy and do some crazy marketing thing, you may have to get their approval because you're using their marks and their systems. On the other part, they do have systems in place. So if you're coming from a corporate world or a job and you've never done any type of side hustle or been an entrepreneur at all, then a franchise actually may be a good take. You get into a franchise, they already have the systems in place, they already know the costs, they already know the websites, they already have the branding, the names, the marketing. What you need to make sure that when you do get into a franchise is make sure they've been around a while. So there are chances that you can get into one that's too young and too early, and they may collapse. They may not have the name and the recognition, the financials that you thought they had. That's an extremely important piece of the puzzle. But then you look at the other spectrum, the ones that have been around a long time, it takes a lot of capital, a lot of net worth, a lot of liquidity to do that. So there's kind of a balance between getting into a new franchise where your odds are a lot tougher, but yet your capital costs and requirements are a lot lower. It could pay off big dividends, but now you're also putting your future in somebody else's hands. You may be conducting a fantastic franchise, very profitable, but then you realize your franchisor has mismanaged their funds. If they've done this, your whole franchise could literally be worth nothing. Now, let's kind of switch to the other side. Let's pretend you're an independent. It's all you, baby. If you don't have the right people on your bus, if you don't have the right people on your team, what are you going to do? You need to make sure that you're willing to put the work in, that you can hold yourself accountable, that you can get out there and hustle. And if you can't, then you need to make sure you have part of your team. And understand that part of that team is everybody, from marketers to lawyers to CPAs. Those people are not just taking your money out because they're expensive. They're part of your team. So realistically, most entrepreneurs and business owners don't go at it alone. They have a team. The difference is you can choose your own team if you're an independent. However, you have to create your own systems. You have to learn the hard way. You have to pay for an education. And I've paid for plenty of educations being an entrepreneur. And generally that means you've lost money, done something stupid, you've had someone steal from you, fraud, that kind of stuff. So we're not going to go into a lot of details in this video, but I kind of want you to do some research on your own. If you're going to consider going into a franchise, understand that somebody else does ultimately have control over you. Yes, it's your business, but what they do is they take your capital, your money, they can grow their business faster. In theory, they should actually go to you and help you with your understanding your business model. If you have a software issue, depending on the business, if you have an employee issue, they can at least consult you, share their experience. But if they have not been in business for a long time and haven't experienced that stuff for themselves, how can they help you? So start to do that balance. Make sure that when you do it, you contact each individual franchisee. In that FDD, there's actually a list of people that already have franchises and some that may have lost it if they've actually closed. Call those people, talk to them, ask them different questions. Some may be real close to the franchisor and give you information that is astounding and great. Then you might talk to some of them that gives you a completely different story. So you need to make sure that you do your homework. It's extremely important to do your due diligence, because once you are in a franchise, you are bound by a contract. As far as I'm concerned, they own your ass. On the other part, it does give you a lot of strength in marketing if that franchisor does great marketing, because now instead of you creating Joe's Plumbing, you now might be Roto-Rooter. So the difference is, you've heard that name before right away. You know, you hear the big names like McDonald's, you're like, oh, that's great. You hear another business called Dennis Burgers, you're like, who's that? So there is something to be said for those dollars, because they've already built that brand, people already know about them. So that is something that you absolutely have to take into account. So before making a decision, besides franchising or doing this independently, make sure that you take the time to research it. Talk to local business owners. Maybe join a group, because most people create wealth in their spare time, not every day at work. Take the time, get to know franchisees, get to know local business owners. Spend time, ask questions, learn, buy them dinners, join different local groups, Chamber of Commerce. You don't have to be a business owner to join those. Join them as an individual, learn, observe. You need to make sure that your decision is the best that you can make, because let's face it, 2020 is going to be a kick-butt year, and only you decide that. So with that, Accelerated Solutions is here to help with consulting and administrative services to kind of help you guys, whether you're a franchisee or an independent, make sure that your back end of your business is ran so you can get out there and sell and grow.